Glad to have you back. You're watching News Night. A reminder of our top stories. No fewer than 48 persons have been confirmed dead, while over 50 cattle were burned when a tanker loaded with petrol collided with another trailer truck loaded with passengers and cattle in Niger State. The Director General of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Baba Ara, said the accident occurred when the fuel-laden tanker collided with a trailer truck loaded with travelers and cattle from Wudil in Kano State heading to Lagos. Two other vehicles, a crane truck and a pickup van, were also caught up in the incidents. He said the accident occurred on Sunday at about 12:30 a.m. along Lapai Agaye, 2 kilometers from Dendo community in Agaye local government area. All the victims have been given a mass burial. Meanwhile, Governor Umar Bago has expressed sadness over the incident, calling for calm. Bago enjoined road users to always be cautious and abide by road traffic regulations to safeguard lives and property. Now, for more on road accidents and how to keep our roads safe, we have joining us in the studio a road safety advocate, Mr. Emmanuel John. Mr. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, road accidents. I mean, we just heard about this very horrendous road accident claiming the lives of both human beings and animals, very useful ones at that. Now, I believe that there is something fundamentally wrong, particularly with the enforcement. I mean, we have the road safety, we have the VIO, and it appears instead of enforcing what they should be enforcing, they're more interested in looking at your papers. Sometimes they pull over very clean-looking cars to check for particulars, and then the rickety, not fit for road use vehicles passing by, and then they ignore it. What do you make of this situation?
Thank you very much. Let me begin by sending my condolences to the families of the 45 or thereabout number of people that were killed in that crash this morning. A very painful one it is. And that speaks about the multiplicity of fatalities that we see across the nation, Nigeria. Last year, over 5,000 people were killed. Between January and July this year, 2,700 people have been killed already. And you don't know how many will again die between now and December. And that calls for a lot of caution.
Absolutely.
No doubt the Federal Road Safety Corps and the several other agencies that exist at the state have their various functions defined, and they are supposed to be on the road to ensure that crashes reduce to the barest minimum. We have a national road safety strategy for Nigeria that specifies 50% reduction of road crashes. In fact, overall goal is that we should have 0 fatalities.
And it doesn't seem to be working at all.
We are not getting there.
Apparently, it's getting worse, if anything.
Yes. So, but there are 3 key things we need to look at as the major reason why these fatalities have continued unabated.
Absolutely.
Number 1 is the fact that we have generally weak enforcement system across the entire value chain.
That's exactly what I pointed out.
And it's a system problem. Beyond an individual on the road, it's an entire weak system. For instance, there are certain instruments required for effective enforcement that are not there. For instance, we should have an end-of-life policy. The rickety vehicles you are talking about shouldn't be on the road.
On the road, absolutely.
But the policy to take them off the road is not there. For instance, if we have an end-of-life policy, in Nigeria, your vehicle can continue as long as the tires can turn, the vehicle can continue to move. And the nearest they could do is to do some certain inspections and allow you to go. But if we have an end-of-life that says once your vehicle gets to certain limits, it should off the road, then we can enforce and prevent such vehicles from applying the road in the first place.
How can we identify vehicles like that?
No, it's not.
Because some of them are imported second-hand. You don't even know the mileage that they came in with into the country. Some are, some are just fifth-hand vehicles.
Those
so
are
part of identify those?
Those are part of the weak enforcement system we're talking about. One of it the importation issues. Nigeria has one of the oldest age limit importation in Africa. That's one of the problems. We have also the inspection problem. There are specified requirements for ensuring the standard of vehicles that should be on the road. For instance, vehicles are supposed to go every year for inspection and ensure that every function meets certain standards. How much is that enforced? That's why I say there's a general weak enforcement system. Then you come to road traffic enforcement in itself in terms of arresting offenders on the road. You have situations where offenses are as low as 3,000. I did an analysis of making calls while driving, for instance. In South Africa, you pay equivalent of about $60. If $60 is around 80,000 naira for making a call while driving. You do that in Ghana is $140. You do that in Egypt, it's around $200. Then you do it in Nigeria, how much is it? 4,000 naira. What is 4,000?
So that's the problem then. So how can we address this problem? How can we address this problem
Number
of
one,
weak enforcement?
We need strengthened regulations. Number two, we need to go along with the global framework plan of action for road safety that says we need to focus on the safe systems approach. And one of the ingredients is that, yes, you can't run away from the fact that people will make mistakes, but we should design systems that prevent them from dying even though they make mistakes. And this is where the emphasis is in this millennium. Within this decade, between now and 2030, we are saying certain decisions need to be taken, certain fundamentals need to be addressed before the man hit the road while he is on the road. For instance, drink driving. Assuming that the man goes to party, he's drunk, he knows the law before he got drunk, but at the point of taking himself to enter the vehicle, he's not in control of his decisions. Yeah. So he's going to the steering to drive even though he's drunk, not knowing what he's doing. Assuming there is an alcohol lock installed in the vehicle, there is a regulation that said every new vehicle coming to the country must have alcohol lock installed in it. As soon as you enter the vehicle, the sensor in the car will perceive the odor and interpret that the alcohol content in your blood have exceeded 0.05, that is the national standard in Nigeria, and the car will not start. Even though the man has decided to go and kill the people, the car has prevented him from doing so.
Now, this brings me to something I gleaned from the National Bureau of Statistics, the statistics of road accidents in the country from region to region. Yeah. Now, it shows that road crashes have been quite very, very appalling, and the North Central seems to take the cake. You have, a higher portion of road accidents occurring in the North Central, followed by the Southwest, and then the Southeast actually has the least occurrence of road crashes. What would you say is responsible for this state of affairs?
Number one is the distances between destinations. For instance, Kaduna is usually number one in fatalities across Nigeria. Abuja is on top, number one, number two, every year in terms of crashes. Because if you take the case of Abuja, you are talking about good roads that people take advantage of to speed, and in the process, they cause accidents. Another factor for Abuja is the fact that people travel from distances coming to Abuja. By the time they are reaching Lokoja, passing, getting to Abaji, they are already tired, they are worn out, they have refused to rest, and so naturally, your body will tell on you, and to that extent, crashes also happen. And to that extent, Abuja is at the top of crashes across Nigeria. Then we talk about Nasarawa State, you talk about Niger State, they have high rate of crashes, and essentially because attitude issues are there from the drivers, from the motorcyclists, and all of that are contributing to the factors.
And there is something else we seem to be overlooking, and that's the state of our roads. Bad roads are a major contributory factor to road accidents, and nobody seems to be talking about that. It's as if government is either ignoring it deliberately or just paying lip service to this road safety and accident prevention thing.
But contrary, I am a researcher myself, and we do a lot of studies, and one of the evidences are that when the roads are good, more people die.
Interesting.
More crashes take place. I remember particularly in 2013 when Goodluck Jonathan, there was this effort to repair roads across the country. Go check our crash statistics. He went up as soon as the roads become good.
Then if roads are good and then accidents are increasing, then there is something fundamentally wrong.
Human factor. It is the fact that people, one, the issues of driver's license, the issues of quality of the drivers on the road, the issues of the standard of vehicles, the issues of behaviors in driving. All of these are the main factors. And that is why the second decade of action for road safety is emphasizing the fact that even though these problems are there, we can create a system that prevents, that we can't stop accidents, but we can create a system that prevents fatalities and serious injuries. And some of the steps are available and we are expected to imbibe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel John, road safety advocate, for shedding a light on the issue of road accident prevention and safety on our roads. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.